Howdy, welcome to my channel. This is my guest star, Miss Banks, and she and I are going to talk about the Batman movie. We're going to try and keep it as spoiler-free as possible for our friends who haven't seen the movie. But we're going to say what we liked, didn't like, and if it was a good movie or not based off a rating of 1 through 5. But once again, this is our initial thoughts. You start.
Well, based on other reviews saying that it was going to be disappointing, I honestly did not think it was disappointing at all. It was a fairly good movie. They hit on the characters fairly well. I think they portrayed Batman pretty well in the story as well, as long as Bruce Wayne. But I didn't like the villain of the story, which I'm not going to disclose who it is at the time because again,
I mean, you can say what you didn't like about the different villains in there. There's multiple villains. It covers all 5 main villains of the Year One comics. So,
yeah,
I mean that's
villain.
yeah.
The
I
main
mean,
villain of the story, he was a behind-the-scenes guy.
That's exactly what riddles are.
And I think they could have touched on him a little more, what caused him to become a villain, you know?
I mean, they wrapped up the beat of why he became a villain towards the end of the movie, but
They could have
it seems like they basically mansplained it instead of show, not tell. They could have shown, not told. And I think that's the only thing that they got wrong in this movie, because it's supposed to be the world's greatest detective. He's supposed to figure it out on his own. It's supposed to be a story-driven mystery that you're supposed to figure out along with Batman in the screen, and they mansplain how the Riddler came to be at the end when he revealed all of his secrets. But it's like, why? You know? But I think that the Selina Kyle aspect, the Catwoman aspect, and the Batman romance was great. I mean, it was pretty funny how they cut the first scene of them kissing, because I'm not going to get into it, but you'll know when you hear it.
Honestly, I think they moved it along too fast because she'd only known the guy for like 3 days before they first kissed, and she ain't never seen him.
I think the movie took place over a random amount of 2 weeks, because that's usually how the Riddler operates. Is he operates, like 2 to 3 weeks of riddles, and then he's finally caught. Basically.
Yeah,
So the movie takes place over around 2 weeks of election week, and it's all right for a Batman movie. They did do really well with the Batman mental pathology, because he couldn't. When his parents died, Bruce Wayne internalized all that anger. He became Batman. He basically threw Bruce Wayne into a locked, padded cell in his brain. Basically a garbage dump for his brain. And Batman became his true persona. So I'm glad that they focused mostly on Batman, because Robert Pattinson did not look well at all as Bruce Wayne.
Made Bruce Wayne look like a very
Made him
young man. Made him look younger than in the other movies.
No, he made him look like a emo teenager with anger issues, and we all know that that's not really Bruce Wayne's personality. He's billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, just like Tony Stark. The only difference is he doesn't prick as many women as Tony Stark did before he got married. But at the same time, he's still a bachelor. He still does what he does best, kicking ass, taking names. The introduction scene of Batman was wonderfully well played. I loved how they incorporated all of his gadgets into his suit, and how he could weaken his armor by taking his batarangs from his chest plate instead of, just having it folded up on his utility belt. sometimes, it's nice to see a different take on how the Cape Crusader would store his utilities. And I think they accomplished that really, really well. I did not like how until the end you didn't know who the Riddler was. You kind of figured he was a nerd, but that's a given. He's a nerd in the comic books too. I wish that they would have brought back for the Riddler himself. I wish that they would have used, the Jim Carrey style of outfit that Jim Carrey wore in Batman Forever, which is his traditional outfit, and had his Riddler goons wear the outfit that he was wearing on the camera at all times. They could have done like sunglasses in the dark, cover his face and hide his appearance, but to me they just they missed the mark on the Riddler. Now the Penguin was utterly terrifying, along with Falcone. The guy that plays Falcone also played the agent in the Transformers movie, and he gave a scary performance.
I think they did very good for.
I think that they did very good for Falcone, the Penguin, and Selena Kyle. I would have loved to have seen Selena Kyle in her traditional cat suit as well, with the cat helmet, with the goggles and stuff, with the biker goggles. But beggars can't be choosers. I think that they did a good job on the costume with the budget that they had, considering that they had to pay all these top A-list actors lots of money to play in their film. I think that they did well with the constraints that they had, and I think for what it is, it's a movie worth seeing. How would you rate it on 5 stars?
I'd say 3.5, maybe 4. Like, I'm not gonna give it a complete 5. It could have been better. They could have done better with the Riddler.
I would do 4, 4.25 maybe, but that's about it for this review. Thanks for watching, and watch more movies, because movies are getting better again, because they're not so overly politicized. I hate movies that are overly political. This had the right balance, but also it didn't have all the nonsense that you get in a movie in a election year. So I'm glad for that. I'm glad that they cut that nonsense out. DC, if you're listening, no politics unless it's world building. That's DC 101, okay? Other than that, y'all did a damn good job with this movie. I look forward to seeing the other 4 movies that are supposed to come release in the next 5 years that you've got planned out, that you showed before the movie played. I look forward to seeing those and seeing if you can match the MCU mano a mano with better stories. Keep it story driven, and that's the only advice I have for you, DC. Other than that, do your best. Any last remarks, Miss Banks, before I cut off the feed?
No, I think you covered it pretty well.
Alright. Like, comment, subscribe, and maybe I'll see a video. Maybe I'll watch another movie with some other friend, and maybe they'll want to be on a live stream like this. Alright? Sayonara.